Welcome to the Midwest Music and Art Share, coming at you from Muscatine, Iowa. My name is Ryan, and along with my good buddy Kenny, we bring you the voices and stories of talented artists and musicians from all corners of the creative world. Whether you're a fan of music, visual arts, or just love discovering new talent, join us as we explore the inspirations, challenges, and triumphs that fuel the creative spirit. Let's dive in and celebrate the art that moves us all. All right, thanks for tuning in, everyone. My name is Ryan. This is the Midwest Music and Art Share, the podcast. We're coming to you straight out of Muscatine, Iowa. And right now I've got Lee Evans with us today. He's a hometown boy, and he's coming to us today from Seattle, Washington.
Howdy, howdy.
How's it going, Lee?
Good, Blue. How are you, man?
I'm doing very well. First of all, thank you for coming. Like, I know this is a long ways away from where you're at. How was the drive here?
Long, but I had company. I got my German Shepherd.
There you go. That's awesome. What's your German Shepherd's name?
Stuart.
Stuart. Very cool. All right, Lee. So the reason why we got you here, obviously, we want to ask you some fun questions about what's been going on with your life. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing.
Just recording music mainly, playing drums, and just trying to collaborate with as many people as I can meet out there. It's a small world in Seattle. Once you get tied in.
But it's a huge world at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of legendary studios, a lot of cool producers, a lot of really talented people, a lot of original, driven stuff. Like around here, you can like really get by being in a cover band, which is great. Mm-hmm. But out there, they want to hear new, different stuff all the time. That's probably what attracted me to go out there.
Love that. So along with that, what can you tell us? Like Seattle's like a dog-eat-dog world, right? What makes it so competitive out there versus here?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of good bands that come from there.
Great bands that came from there.
You kind of have the bar's already been set ever since, Heart is probably one of the most known original bands.
Sure.
And they're around in, late 70s?
Yeah, yep.
So the bar has been set for a while, and then, of course, the grunge scene came along.
Oh, the grunge scene, that's one of my favorite genres, I would have to say.
That's more than a couple handfuls of really good bands.
Oh, yeah.
Good songs.
So, all right, so I got some questions for you. Let's start out here. What can you tell me about, how your musical journey? What initially inspired you to pursue music? And we're cut from the same cloth. We went to the same high school. Mm-hmm.
Well,
where was your inspiration from?
Well, honestly, saying that, Mr. Will, our music teacher, that guy was great.
He's amazing. He's still amazing.
Yes, he knows how to teach a kid how to play anything, and I actually played trumpet for a week because that's what my older brother played, and I was like, I can't really read the music for this, and then you have the snare drums right behind you as a trumpet player, so he let me switch, and then that was in 5th grade.
And that's been history since, huh?
Yeah, I loved the drums there, and yeah, he let me switch. He had me copy what he was doing on his knees and stuff, and yeah.
So you play a few different instruments. What do you think your favorite one is?
Oh, drums by far.
Drums for sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Drums and percussion.
Definitely. So what genre of style of music do you primarily identify with?
Rock.
Rock, okay. And how would you describe your sound to someone who's never heard your music before?
Just simple music, simple rock, just raw instruments, no thrills, no overproduction, just
nothing super crazy, just music.
Yeah.
I like that. That's awesome. We see a lot of synthesizers and stuff with today's music, and don't get me wrong, it takes a lot of talent to play that stuff.
Yeah, it's fun to play with too.
It's super fun to play. It takes a lot of talent. I don't take anything away from that. But when you get down to the roots, man, guitar, drums,
acoustic instruments.
Love it.
Yeah.
Can you share any significant milestones or moments in your career so far that have helped you to shape you as a musician?
Just getting to work in studios that some of my favorite records have been made in, from Soundgarden to Santana.
That's awesome. And
everything in between, I guess. Just making music on the fly, mainly. Taking a risk on, I did a song called Crooked Love with my good friend and producer Ryan Nails. He's also one of Dave Grohl's producers.
Okay.
And I booked one day in the studio with him where Bleach was recorded.
Really?
That Nirvana record. It's called Halls of Justice or something like that.
Okay.
Real small space, real small studio. The live room is 10 by 20.
That's awesome.
And we jammed for 50 minutes. And then towards the end of that, we found a happy riff, and we're like, let's work on that for the rest of the day, and made a good single out of it.
There you go, man. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What was that single called?
Crooked Love.
Crooked Love. Okay. So, what's your songwriting process like? Where do you draw your inspiration from?
My ears. once something gets rolling, whether I'm playing the drums first or the bass guitar's going or whatever, just listen.
Are you one of those guys that's always just like tapping on something and keeping a rhythm somewhere?
I guess, yeah. I mean, if my car had drums in it, it'd be a constant drum set. That's like my main practice. If I can't play my E kit or my acoustic kit, I can make up for it in the car.
There you go. So how do you approach collaborations with other artists? And have you any big collaborations or particularly memorable or impactful ones?
Other than that one, recently with my good friend from high school, Kenny Fox, who's operating this right now, had a session at Flat Black Studios at Lone Tree, Iowa.
Okay.
And we had 2 days there, and he hired one of his good buddies, Matt Lale from Nashville, and we just wrote in studio, figured out something the first day, and tuned it up and overdubbed the next day.
Very good.
But I mainly just try to see what the other artist wants to do. If they have like songs they've been rehearsed and want to get down, then that. If they would just want to go into it as like a free jam, that's the way I prefer it. It's just
keep it natural, right?
Yeah, see what happens.
Don't force anything.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. That's my favorite thing too. Like a jam session, you can't get any better than that.
Yeah,
I mean,
you get
honestly,
real magic out of that.
Yep, for sure. Can you discuss any themes or messages that you aim to convey through your music?
Just honesty.
Honesty? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Whether it's a good memory or something good you're going through or something bad or something confusing.
There's no better way to tell a story than through music.
Yeah, but I think honesty is always the foundation.
I like that. Okay. So what do you find most rewarding about being a musician, you know, and what are some challenges that you face in the industry, especially considering Seattle's a lot bigger than our little hometown here in the Midwest, you know?
Yeah. Well, the most rewarding thing is not only the high, of course, the high that you get from playing an instrument is the best high that you can ever chase, in my opinion.
I don't disagree at all. Absolutely.
And the thought, like, you know, I'm a carpenter too, so I take pride in building stuff sound and solid because I want it to outlive me. And the same for my music. If it's around for 30 years or 300 years, that's something to be proud of. And that
stands the test of time.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. How do you engage with your audience? You know, online, during live performances? Like, what's the best way there?
Really, during live performances, I kind of don't, I guess. I tried to just get into character, if you would.
Yep.
And just buckle down and focus on the song and make sure that I'm delivering that. And then when that's over and they're clapping, yeah, then you can kind of look out there. And
do you feel like the audience plays like a big distraction sometimes? Or do you ever have a problem like zoning out and just playing, like doing your thing, you know?
I try to do open mic in Washington almost every Sunday or every other Sunday at this place in Ellensburg called Old Schools.
What do you do for the open mic?
I play acoustic.
Okay.
I just do my acoustic guitar and vocals and just do my original stuff dumbed down in acoustic version.
Awesome.
And yeah, try to just work through the nerves of that kind of intimate show because I'm not hiding behind my comfortable instrument.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I've sang and I've played guitar for years, and I've never ever mastered the ability to play and sing at the same time. Now, if you give me lyrics and a microphone, I'll sing any song you want.
Yeah.
And if I got somebody to play guitar with me, I'll play guitar too. I'm not great, but I cannot play and sing to save my life.
I used to be in a band called Almost Perfect with our mutual friend Ethan Everhart.
Yeah.
And I was the lead singer and drummer for that band. But playing drums and singing is easy. It's like dancing and singing. You're not really thinking about. You're just having fun.
I got you. And maybe someday, if I practice enough, I'll get to the point where I can play and sing at the same time. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, I'm no good guitar player, so doing that. Luckily, my songs are simple enough that I can make it sound like I know what I'm doing.
So, are there any upcoming projects or releases that you're particularly excited about?
Well, I have maybe another session coming up in the fall with my good friend Johnny Nails. And he's, you know, a renowned session player. He used to play for American Idol for a couple of years and stuff like that. And I'm just going to book probably a day or two in the studio with him and just write and see what we can come up with.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because I just really love that approach to recording, especially with other people. If I'm doing a studio session by myself for my own music, it's rehearsed and I got everything down before I have an engineer come in and record it all.
Sure.
But other than that, yeah, that's the way I like to do it.
Okay.
Looking forward to that.
So looking ahead, you know, what are some aspirations and goals that you have as a musician? Like, where do you see yourself? What do you want to do? How far do you want to go?
I'm not trying to be famous or rich or anything like that. I just want to keep, my aspiration is to make really good music. So recording's the main thing. Try to make stuff that feels and sounds really good of any genre, really. If it makes me tap my foot and makes me feel good, then that. And if I can, perform it in front of people when I can, whether it's with a band or by myself. Or,
Definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, I feel like you painted a pretty good story for what you've been doing. I got some fun questions I want to ask you if you don't mind. So if your music was a flavor of ice cream, what flavor would it be and why?
Half-baked.
Half-baked?
Yeah.
Okay. And why do you think that?
Because it's a little bit of mix of everything sometimes, because I try to draw inspiration from all kinds of different genres.
Yeah, you're not limiting
Country,
yourself.
rock,
Yep.
whatever, probably that.
Okay.
But if you blend it together just right, it tastes really good.
I got you. So if you could have any fictional character join your band from any period in time, who would it be and what instrument would they play?
Animal.
Animal?
Drums.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't ask for a better drummer.
I feel like you can't go wrong with that.
He's got the energy. He's got the pocket.
Definitely.
That's all you need.
So what's the weirdest or most unexpected place that you found inspiration for a song?
I mean, every day I draw inspiration for music. A place, I don't know, probably I had a session at Red Room Studios. It's no longer a studio, but like 9 Inch Nails used to do a lot of their mixing there, and a lot of the 90s guys used to go through there. But I did a song called Little Jimmy, and I hired my buddy Juan, who's like a Mexican rapper.
Okay.
And we were both writing in like the studio kitchen and / like bathroom, and he was hashing them out in the bathroom while I was working on the drum takes.
Because the acoustics were so good, right?
Yeah. So yeah, probably that. Probably just on the fly in bathrooms or kitchen areas and studios.
No better place for it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you were to create a soundtrack for your life, what 3 songs would be on it for sure, and what would you call the soundtrack?
Probably just the Leroy Brown.
Leroy Brown.
Have that song, Bad Leroy Brown, 10 Years Gone, and probably Let the Good Times Roll by the Cars.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what would you call your soundtrack?
I don't know. Probably just The Life of Lee.
I like that. I dig that. That's awesome. If you could share a funny or embarrassing story from a gig or or something that you've done on stage, what's an embarrassing moment that you had to recover from?
Well, the first recovery wise,
Maybe you didn't
I don't
recover
know.
from it. I don't know.
Well, 2 stories. Same band with Ethan Everhart, Almost Perfect. We were playing a gig up in Wisconsin, and it was kind of a country place. Almost every other person there had cowboy boots and cowboy hats on.
Okay.
And our first song was a cover, "Breed" by Nirvana. So
Sure.
like, this is gonna go really well or really bad. And and I look up to start singing, and everybody's doing the hoedown and having a good time. But then later on in that gig, there was a lady up on stage trying to request songs while we're playing, and you were like, yeah, we don't know, but she was stumbling around, and nobody was helping her, and
It just sounds like a good time though.
stuff like that.
Okay.
And breaking, we were playing a gig in, I think it might have been Phoenix or somewhere in Arizona. And literally the first song, the first snare hit, I broke my drum head.
Oh no.
And luckily Ethan was able to play guitar and talk to the crowd. And I ran out to the trailer that we had and grabbed my piccolo snare drum and tuned it down and kept it going.
The show must go on.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he was able to save the show by just
Yeah,
playing
but
it.
I
That's
thought that was
awesome.
funny. First hit of the first song, boom, it just broke.
If that's any sign for what's to come, right?
Yeah.
No, I got you. Awesome. So here's a fun one. If your music was a superhero, okay, what would its superpower be, and what would its weakness be?
I really don't know. I don't know. Probably Batman, because I try to think of I try to make my music as raw as possible, but
Okay.
I also try to take it to really good studios that have solid analog equipment. Like I've recorded the Rupert Neve mixer boards for my drums and stuff like that. So probably Batman,
So I
because
think
he's just
that's
a
a pretty
raw.
good analogy,
He's just a raw
absolutely.
dude but he's got good equipment.
The best gadgets, right?
Yeah.
So what about as far as what's your kryptonite, so to speak? I know it's a different superhero, but
Overproduction, Because I mean, sometimes I can struggle being a good singer, and it's easy to like layer on effects. Not auto tune, or I guess auto tune would be. If I get to that point, then I'm done. That would implode me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I can't do
Okay.
that. Somebody else, if it worked, if the song called for it. But if
Yeah.
I'm doing it to try to save my butt, then no.
Right. Okay. If you could swap lives with any famous musician just for a day, who would it be, and what would you do with their fame?
Frank Sinatra, and I would try to like just observe that like mafia life, or at least as much as he was around it.
Yeah, for
especially
sure.
being in Vegas and all that money that was around.
Yep.
And he's the most famous guy in the world. I mean, a musician at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, Frankie.
Amazing. Yep.
Frankie for sure.
All right. So what's the most bizarre fan encounter that you ever had?
Probably playing a gig in Seattle. I had like an older gentleman. He was probably in his 60s or something, and I was 17, and I was playing a gig. I think it was called Studio 7. It was like kind of a punk rock place in Seattle. But in the back, I'm not kidding you, if you go there like on a Tuesday afternoon, there's like 20 rooms, different rooms, all set up like apartments side by side, and different bands, and they're rehearsing in their different rehearsal rooms. And this guy was a drummer. He had his own room that he rented, had like a couch in there and stuff, and saw me play and invited me. We're having a good time and checking out his drums. And then I left to go to the bathroom, and I come back in, and this guy was like fresh out of prison, and I sat back down on the couch, and he turned around, and he kind of freaked out and didn't remember who I was or something. And then he's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, man. I used to having like a cell by myself or whatever." And then he like gave me a couple drumsticks and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he kind of had a PTS moment, but
Ended up being
he
a good
felt bad.
experience,
Yeah, he
though.
felt bad about it. Yeah, that was a weirder one.
So if you were to write a song about your pet, what would be the title of the song, and what would the chorus sound like?
Oh gosh, I'm kind of working on one right
yeah?
now. Yeah, kind of a blues one.
For Stuart, right?
Yeah, I kind of like the perspective. First, it starts off as you, like you get home from a long day, and and you don't want any company, but your good dog, your dog's happy to see you, and he wants to go for a walk and stuff. And then while you're walking, you realize he's kind of walking you,
Sure.
because you've had a long day and stuff. And then just from the perspective of a dog, don't got any bills to pay and just laying around all day. It's kind of an easy write. You can write some
Sounds like a
really,
fun one for sure.
really corny lyrics to it.
So all right, so interview questions out of the way. Where can we hear your music at? Where can we find you if we're online?
Really, I use DistroKid as my my streaming platform,
Okay.
or my distributor, I should say, and they put it on everything: YouTube Music, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, Deezer.
What do we
Literally,
search if we're looking for you?
Lee Evans. You could type in Lee Evans. That's my self-titled album, or you could type in Lee Evans acoustic live, Lee Evans Crooked Love, just all that. Once you get past the British comedian, stand-up comedian Lee Evans, who's a legend, he's doing the name justice a lot more than I am. Yeah, that stuff.
Okay,
If you just type in Lee Evans Crooked Love, it'll take you from there.
gotcha. So that's one thing we'll have to check out for sure.
Or my latest release is Lee Evans In My Bones. That one I
okay.
tracked all by myself, all the instruments, in a cabin that I built by the Yakima River in Washington, and hired one of Jack and Dino's assistant engineers. They call him the Godfather of grunge. He's worked with Soundgarden and all those guys. He's the one that produced Bleach.
Awesome.
So I've made friends with his assistant and hired him to come over the Cascades and record in Central Washington with me, and we did that song in a day in a cabin.
Very
Just
cool.
tracked it, and he mixed it, and then I sent it to my good buddy Nails for mastering. So
Sounds
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, Lee Evans In My Bones.
So we'll have to check that one out for sure. Are there any big upcoming shows you're ready for, or excited about, or nervous about even?
No, nothing yet. I mean, just trying to get back to the rhythm of work and everything when I get back to Washington and record, and just try to. I don't have any gigs lined up. I do have some good friends that are known in the music industry that I may be able to get to open up for here and there, but
Okay.
I'm just trying to hone my craft till I throw myself to the wolves, because I do have opportunities that I could
But you want to be
line
ready
up.
for those opportunities. Then.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
the idea, is to get ready, because I don't want to
Gotcha.
make a fool of myself.
Awesome.
But
So,
until then, just record.
perfect. We're about out of time today, but I got one more question for you. If you could give like a brand new musician, somebody who maybe they just picked up a guitar or a microphone for the first time, but they got the passion, they just haven't got there yet. What's the best advice you can give them to help them out?
Practice. Don't beat yourself up. Even the big boys, the most talented people in the world, make mistakes all the time. On stage, off stage. Just keep playing. Most people, I mean, if you're playing a bar gig or whatever, most people aren't going to notice anyway unless you make it known.
Sure. Okay.
So just practice, have fun, and don't beat yourself up. It's not work. It's just, it's art.
It's art. It's absolutely art. But it's work too, though.
It is work too, though. But also, it's easier if you just get out of your own head and just focus on playing and just powering through. The show must go on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that, Lee. I appreciate you coming all this way to chat with us today. I look forward to hearing some more stuff that you got coming out. I'm gonna do some searching myself because I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, if I need some saxophone, I know who I'm calling.
Definitely, man. I look forward to that for sure. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Again, my name is Ryan. This is Lee Evans. Google him, search him, YouTube him, whatever, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast and your music from. Make sure you check out Lee Evans. And at the end of the day, man, I appreciate you coming out here. And again, this is the Midwest Music and Art Share.
Yeah, good seeing you, Blue.
For sure. Thanks, Lee.